Hello and welcome back to Reddit League Season 5, Week 2. Last week in Poland went fantastically, getting 25k, my first perfect score in Division 1, only my second score in Reddit League history, second perfect score in Reddit League history in my own divisions. And that means I'm currently in third place because Mr. Blue did get above 24.9k, meaning it did end up being a draw. But it still puts me in third place, so that's perfect. And of course, Box and Raidman also getting perfect scores, but otherwise, no one else. And now we are in week 2, and we're going over to Jordan. And in Jordan, we're going to be playing against Pluki, who I've had a very close game against last season already on a world map back then, though. So we'll see how Jordan goes. I think Jordan generally have practiced pretty much a similar amount as I did to Poland. Not really anything in the way of, I don't know, area codes or things like that to learn. I saw a couple phone numbers while practicing, but quite frankly, I didn't even look up if it had an area code system or anything like that because I don't think you're gonna need it. Other than that, Jordan is not the most difficult country if you've practiced it a bit. It's not got a lot of coverage, basically just the highways and some of the bigger cities. And landscape-wise, it's it's not super diverse, but it has distinct areas where you could be. The main problem you do have is that quite a lot of the highways in the middle of the country are pretty straight, pretty long, and well, there's like multiple of them, so you gotta find a sign that tells you which highway you're on, but those usually are pretty readily available. So anyway, Jordan it is. Let's go into our game, and afterwards we'll talk about the other seeds. All right, match number 2 against Pluki and Jordan. Let's go. Okay, that's an interesting start. It's not really what I want to see when I start a game in Jordan. We have Al-Karak and Arabia. I don't recognize either. Unfortunately. Boy, nothing. Almar. Okay. I hope I can find something else. There's not many urban locations in Jordan, but there's still too many for me to just go, okay, it's probably this. So I'm gonna have to have a look. And the other unfortunate part is that in Jordan, you very rarely find something in cities that you can actually make use of. Can I really not get over there? No, doesn't seem so. All right. Well. Oh, shit. Huh. It could be. What could it be? That seems like a very. Hmm. Never mind. Got 1.5 more minutes. I don't know. That seems very interesting. That could be. Altafilia, maybe? Uta self. Al-Karak. Al-Karak, with that, I mean, I think is generally that. But. Don't. Maybe somewhere south in Madaba. What do we have here? That just doesn't tell me anything. Surely that would, though. Is that Karak Castle? It might be. Castle Panorama. Just tell me anything more. Aman, Al-Karak, Al-Katrana. Okay. You know what? I think we came from here. Which would put me right around here, I'm gonna say. Is that likely? got a bad feeling about it. But at the same time, honestly, I don't know where else to go. So screw it. Let's hope. Yes. Okay. It made sense, but I had the typical problem of the road direction didn't match with what I saw in my head. Because I struggle with that a lot, and you see that over and over and over again if you go through all my past Reddit League recordings as well, is where I can't get my head to properly work out a street's orientation if we compare it on Street View to on the map. I'd literally have to go full on 100% point the arrow exactly north, and then take a step back and look at it and think about it. If I can do that, then I can figure out the orientation of a road. Most of the time, not even then 100% of the time. So in my head, this road was a lot more north-south than you can see here. And that's why I was struggling with it. Honestly, the fact that I got it spot on, essentially, is purely luck. I figured that the little pathway off of the main highway there that we saw when we went a bit south had to be one of these two. And that meant we had to be in that curve somewhere. But you saw me not really doing much of pinpointing there, just, there, maybe. I was like 99% sure that this was the turn off or, intersection that we've made it to, and the Alcarak panorama right here, which was on one of these signs, supported that assessment. And also, this intersection we saw as well, where the dead end of the coverage was about here. So I was confident enough, but still getting a 5k there was, I'm going to say, 70% luck, 30% skill. Let's go with that, and let's see the next round. Oh, great. Well, rip to any 5ks. We're on road 65 on kilometer 203, so I'm going to say we're roughly there somewhere. Can we see the water to the west? I don't think so. So we might not quite be at the Dead Sea yet. What is that sign though? That's distances. That might be useful. 70 to Al-Karak and 150 to Amman. I think that matches roughly. 70 to Karak. Yeah, round about that. Please go away map. And what does this tell me in the other direction? 50 kilometers, there's a service station? Something like that. I don't know how useful that is going to be. Okay, we got a very slight curve there. Binan natural and historic area. And we can see water over there. Is that like literally the end? Surely we're not here. That wouldn't make much sense to me. We could be here though. Maybe? I think that would roughly match with kilometer 203. Electrical plants and stuff like that. Would that match with 70 to Kerak? No way. Absolutely not. We have to be down here somewhere. Let me go the other... Well, let me think about this. It's pretty straight. Then we have a slight turn to the right. Turns over to the west here. This is not something I'm particularly good at. Aqaba 159, so we're essentially closer to Amman than to Aqaba, which I think is true here. We could be here, actually. I think that makes sense. I think that's also a sign for a fire station, so it should be right. And I would say we're about here, maybe? There is that a... No, that's not the road. This is the road. Maybe put me here? Close enough. It might not be a 5k. Okay, 65 meters. Honestly, I'll take it. We're further north. Okay. Yeah, that's just really difficult to pinpoint. But my, we were right in round 7. This is my first non-5K in this season's Reddit League. Well, I'm just mostly very happy that I at least found the place. So, note to oneself, there is some sort of body of water here. You just can't see it on the map. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. This is surely Aqaba, right? I mean, palm trees. Where else would it be? But it doesn't look that typically like Aqaba. I mean, it absolutely is. But it's in a slightly odd place. What is that building? Duty-free shopping. Or something. University of Jordan. Okay. The University of Jordan is very far outside. It's here. Now, the thing is, this road is a bit more like this, I would suspect. There's a big shopping center here. And there's this intersection here that would lead up and to the University of Aqaba/Jordan. And there is another intersection here, which could be this one or this one. Let me try and figure that out. There's also a pretty thick road leading to the south here. So it's probably more likely that one or that. Well, it has to be this one, doesn't it? Would have to be. And then we'd have an Isuzu and another shopping mall. Kia Motors, yeah, that... do they have something to do with Isuzu? Either way, it is a car dealership, if nothing else. And there's an Aqaba Castle something. Oh, there's a Kia showroom. That now confused. No, it's gonna be fine. Should be... Yeah, here's this entranceway, this one. So we should be right here. Yep, 4 meters. Nice. Okay, 2 more. Okay, that's interesting. Is this Jerash? Roughly, it's Eilun Castle. Yeah, I've had a location near here in practice. Eilun is over there, but that doesn't have coverage, so we're in Jerash somewhere. I only have to figure out where exactly now. And I think this right here is... where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is this right here? Is that it? I'm not 100% confident, but it should be. And you can go to Eilun over here. It should be this. Because basically there's a little tunnel down there. Which is why this is a relatively easy thing to remember. Does the directionality of the road match? It does. Jerash over there, Eilun Castle. Okay, I'm not 100% confident. I should be. I really should be. But I'm not. There is a small little road that goes side by side here. Wait, let me just check. Yeah, this feels slightly off. Then this curves over to the west. No, it has to be somewhere different. Where? Is it? It's this one, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Right. So we're not too far after this. And there's this little off or on ramp, depending on how you look at it. I think we should be here. Sort of in a... maybe here. Like that. Yes! Whew, that was cutting it a bit close. I mean, it still had some time left, but honestly, screw it. I'm actually going to show you right now. Just because I can. We've got one more left to go, but what I was talking about was this over here, which looks pretty similar if you look at it like here. Like, obviously, it's not far away, so of course it's going to look somewhat similar, but even this this place here, like the combination of there's this and this, these roads meeting up, and there's this little tunnel that is pretty memorable. So I knew we were somewhere around Jerash from the beginning, but I just couldn't quite... well, it didn't match up because the road direction didn't match up. But I feel like this is something that even maybe last season still, but definitely in the seasons before that, I would have just gotten stuck and gotten lost in my head and would have just kept looking up there. But no, clearly not the right place. Let's look somewhere else. Found it without any trouble. Let's get into round 5. Okay. A roundabout right next to us at the start. Would have really liked less cities, because cities are always a bit of a problem. Shukri al-Khwali and something al-Hassan or something. Is this just Amman? Is the big question. Wait. Modern Montessori? What did it say on that? Farmer International. I was hoping for just Amman written on that. Because it does look big enough, I want to say. But honestly, I'm not sure. Yeah, these kind of winding roads looks pretty big. Let me go this way a bit. Just sort of get a feel of it. I would have wanted to continue that way, but... okay. There aren't many huge cities in Jordan that are on Street View. Basically have Amman and maybe Madaba. This is not Jerash. Rafah al-Hassani and Saif al-Dawla. I don't know. Could be somewhere in there. Maybe back here. Let me go further down. This is a bigger one, I think. Al-Dostur Street. Sort of goes this way. Yep. Nice. Okay. Can I figure it out? I've not got a lot of time left. Shit. Honestly, put me back to the start. There's a roundabout. Shukri al-Kuwatli and al-Karek. Not that one. This is where it combined. Al-Karak. Is it this? Should be. I don't quite understand. Wait, we are north. Yeah, on the northern side. Nice. I was about to say, I do not understand. It's the same problem as we had in round 1, or was it 2? Where I did not understand the way the roads matched up. It did not make sense to me in my head, but it was both of those roads, and they met at a roundabout. So essentially, what I was saying to myself was, calm down, Calamity. Trust in what you found, forget about your logic and why it shouldn't make sense. Those are the two street names that you found. There is a roundabout here. It's close to the other street that you found, which was down there at the store. Even if that seems pretty far away, I honestly didn't think I'd traveled that far. But either way, that was the intersection I found. So I must have gone maybe here and then here and then here. That maybe is the only way that makes sense to me. That's pretty close. Yes! Another great game. I don't know if it's going to be enough for a win. It's at least a draw. Honestly, I'm pretty confident that might be enough for a bonus point. This is, by the way, this is the standard Jordan distribution. You're always going to have it like this. North-south. Because the coverage of Jordan is essentially this right here. And that's it. There is no coverage over here. So this is the standard distribution. But that was honestly a pretty decent seed again, I'd say. A bit disappointing about this one. No, come on, Calamity. I can't be disappointed about that one. Because, well, I could have easily, there were, I think, 3 or 4 different points in the seed where I could have fucked up and could have just gotten one location wrong and immediately opened myself up to mistakes, errors, whatever, and just not doing too well. But I didn't, which is incredible to me. I have to say as well, this season, because I'm forced in quotation marks, I mean, I signed up for this because I wanted to, essentially, but because I'm forced to make the seeds for the other divisions as well, I'm automatically forced to practice every country. I mean, I used to practice every country kind of anyway, but I'm forced to just play them, actually go through them, sometimes even for longer periods of time, like the 5-minute seed, the 4.5-minute seeds. So I actually see quite a bit of the country, and in a country that has pretty limited coverage, such as Jordan, that is very advantageous. Not like an unfair advantage, but advantageous in the sense that I just, you practice some more. So yeah, that helps, of course, and it especially helps in a country that, well, I found out actually that Jordan is kind of diverse in a sense. Like, it's not diverse like, I don't know, Bolivia, Kyrgyzstan, or some of my other favorite countries, but it is definitely more diverse than Poland, that's for sure. So you can just kind of tell by how many trees you see around, maybe that you're somewhere in the northern side near Jerash. You can tell a bit by how hilly / mountainous it is if you're in some of these mountainous parts around here. There's actually a pretty cool dam. Where is it? Somewhere around here in these mountainous parts. Is it? Oh, this one, the Mujib Dam. So this whole part is kind of mountainous. There is a valley here around Al-Khazar, which also has kind of like an alley that goes through it with trees on each side of the road, which makes it stand out a bit too. And then you've got Aqaba there itself, which looks completely different as well. Obviously close to the Gulf of Aqaba. So you can kind of get to know decently, at least, sort of the different regions of Jordan. So I did get to a point where I could, at the end, I was practicing a bit before playing earlier today, and I got to the point that I could at least get sort of, I mean, I can show you. Why am I talking about this rather than just showing you? These 3, I think, or mostly these, but, well, also some of these, but mostly these last 3 were not no moving, but were in pretty quick times. Like, I can show you some of these. Like, I did 21k in 7 minutes, or here I did 16.7k in 4 minutes, and 22.7k in 3 minutes. Just because you get used to some of the areas, and it just helps you out, as it does with most countries. So next week, we're gonna go to a world map. Volvo dealerships of the world. Don't know if I'm looking forward to that one. But before we get to that, I should talk you through the other seeds as well, and we'll do that in a bit. Okay, it's been a couple of days. As you can see by the fact that it says this was posted 3 days ago, basically I just didn't have the time when I played it to record the other seeds as well. So then I forgot about it for 2 days. So here we are. I think I did it. I don't even remember how I used to do it last season, but I think the way I did it last week, which was starting with Division 2 and then going down, it just kind of felt wrong. So I'm going to start from the back and go forward this time. We'll start with Division, well, the Red League next. Although I have to admit, this was at a point where I was a bit sick of practicing Jordan. So I didn't really fully play through all of those rounds. I essentially went, I mean, I did check in the sense that I was like, well, can you figure out where you are? And well, if I could figure out where I was pretty quickly, then I just took the guess. So round 1 was in Kerak over here. And I genuinely, I don't think in any of the other practice rounds I ever had a round in Central Kerak over here. Like you just saw us having that round down here in our own seed in Division 1. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had another round in Kerak in this central part. And I did wonder about it once. Before I played the seed even, I checked out like the coverage here in the center of Kerak, but I don't know, I just didn't look like it to me. So I went with Attafila in the end. Whatever. Then pretty easy round up here because honestly, I didn't even bother. This was like the 4th time I had this curve in Masterby. If you've watched my 25k video of Jordan, then you'll see our location right around here. I've had it in like another practice C2. I've had it here. So yeah, I was like, screw it. Just put it down. Then round 3 was also pretty simple up there. And there must have been, I guess after 29 seconds, so there must have been a distance sign towards Man, I think, is what I saw here. And potentially to Petra as well. I feel like I had that here somewhere. So I just went with like somewhere on that road, somewhere here. Then round 4 in Aqaba, the 700 million round in Aqaba. Actually went a bit too far north there. But yeah, this intersection also came up quite often. I think I had, like, I threw out one seed for Division 2 because it was too easy. Not in this, I don't throw out seeds because they're too easy, but I throw out the best score I have out of all the practice seeds because it's the one that would be on the high scores. And that was that seed, that Division 2 seed. So that's why I threw it out, not because it was too easy for the other players or anything. I got like 24,991 on it without even really trying. Or was it 24,994 even? I don't even remember what it was. Because now, like, I got 24,991 in the Division 1 seed, so I'm now thinking, am I misremembering? But I can look that up quickly in a second. But yeah, I had one location near that road, near that intersection before, and then round 5 was up there in the south of Madaba. And that was, I spent a minute, and I think, I don't even remember what it was. I think it looked pretty typical of the area. As I said, it's been like 4 or 5 days, so I don't quite remember. Yeah, there's plenty of signs here. So if you just go to them, it tells you that there's mine, and this is probably the more important one. Yeah, there's the mine spa and the Dead Sea. And mine is here. So I think that there must have been a sign towards Madaba there as well, because I wouldn't have known that mine is next to Madaba, I don't think. But purely area-wise, that the area that you saw there, that typical sort of like a bit green, is something you normally see here near Madaba. I think there's one other area that is pretty typical for. but I can't quite remember. Oh, right here, around Alcazar as well. It's also pretty similar landscape-wise. So yeah, not the most difficult seed, but also not super easy. That's pretty much a theme throughout this. Now let me check. Now I think that was my Division 1 seed, so it couldn't have been this, so it must have been slightly worse. I could actually check through the Activities tab. I just realized that's a lot of Kyrgyzstan, yes. Where's Jordan? There's Jordan. This is the one that I threw out, the 24976. Which... What was the location? Yeah. It was this. Yeah, exactly. Other side of the road, not the exact same location, but yes. And I even like screwed up on round 5 because I was just like, wow, whatever, let's get it over with. This is too easy. And I messed up the pinpointing there slightly because it was actually here and I put it there. Yeah, a dumb mistake, but didn't really matter anyway. Then we have the Division 5 seed, which I'm currently apparently in 4th in. So one of the first, that actually might have been the first, it might have been that I played like 1 or 2 seeds before that. Or I didn't. I might have not done because this, like, getting a non-perfect score in a time that like I didn't fill out the whole time usually means to me that I feel like I'm at a point where I'm not going to get much more information anyway, and I just don't care. And that feels more like a first seed to me than something like where I've practiced a bit before. Because if I'd practiced and maybe recognized specific areas and I'd have more to go off, but if I genuinely have no idea about the country, I'd be like, well, whatever. You can already see round 2 there, but let's start from the top. And round 1, yeah, just I don't like Oman, and oops, I don't know. I think there was a sign for. There's definitely a sign for the road name, but I don't think the road name is actually on any of these roads. Like, there was a sign for this road, I think, and the road name just doesn't match with, well, it wasn't Airport Road, I can tell you that much. Because otherwise, I would have probably gone, well, the airport's down there, but on the airport road. And yeah, just went over there. Don't know. Then we had the round 2, where again I didn't really find much. I knew we were on 65. I think I probably found distances to Aqaba and something like that. But yeah, couldn't be bothered to pinpoint any further. The third round, well, the rest of the rounds were pretty easy then. Round 3 was over here, right at an intersection. I thought that was actually quite a fun round to play. But yeah, you can see there, not the most difficult round. Slightly difficult to pinpoint because that's longer than it looks. That's an interesting road design there. So yeah, I just thought it was a pretty interesting round because it does feel like it's in the middle of nowhere here. And then we had round 4, which was down there in Aqaba. This time on the southern edge here, and again, people who've watched my Jordan 25k video will recognize this area because I had a location down here and actually ended up making my way up here and then going this way. And I think I actually, or was that a different seed? No, never mind. I think I think the round where I went from down here up there was a different seed that I had to throw out because it had tracker coverage. That's it. But this is actually, I think this is really close to something I saw in my. This might have actually been the same or very close to a location I had in my 25k seed. And with that, I mean, like, it might have been literally down here instead of right here or something like that. Because I, like, if I bring you back in here, let me just quickly go down here. Was it here? I think it was here, yeah. I think I remember this side street here. But also maybe my brain is just playing tricks on me. This feels very familiar, or felt very familiar. And then we had round 5, which was all the way up there in Jarash. And Actually a quite fun location as well to play. Yeah, I don't think there was anything too particular did. I think I went there first, but then turned around, went down here. And then I don't even remember. I probably went up there, but definitely saw this area over here, which is a pretty distinct area that you can look out for if you think you might be in Jerash, because you can see it from a lot of different places and it stands out quite a bit. Then we have the Division 4 seed. And yeah, this one apparently didn't go too well. First two rounds pretty straightforward and easy. Round one starting us off in the north of Aqaba next to the Prince Hashem bin Abdullah Military Hospital. In a curve there. Actually must have gotten pretty lucky to get it spot on there, or well, spot on enough for a 5k, the only one out of the score so far. And then for round two, we were over in here in this area, and I got that one spot on too. A bit more challenging, but you can see this very specific V-shape road here. That made finding it in this hole. I knew we were somewhere in this area, and that's the one thing that made finding this pretty doable. We then went over to a bit further south here. What did I do for that? Guessed 4 kilometers away. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. I think I made my way up to this intersection, and I saw a sign there towards something. I don't quite remember what it was. It might have even been pointed to Petra or something like that. And I just couldn't quite figure out which side road it was. I couldn't manage to do it. So in the end, I ended up putting myself down here because it sort of fits, I guess, with the road direction, if you look at it. But yeah, obviously not quite close enough. A doable round though in general. And then round 4 was over here. And I don't think I went south. I think I went north and then found nothing really. So just placed myself there. And then round 5 was in Aqaba again, in one of these little side streets. And yeah, again, not really a problem. It shouldn't really be a problem for anyone. I mean, I see a couple of people dropping a few points here and there, but fairly obviously Aqaba. And while all those streets here are well labeled, you have street signs here at every corner. So not a problem. The Division 3 seed. Then, sort of like in a minute, round 1. 15 seconds, 0 meters. Where could it have been? Here. That's also a very, very... a location I've had a lot, basically. It's a very distinct location because you have this curve there. I think I had it in one practice game that I had to throw out too, so that's why I knew it instantly. And yeah, this is something that you just remember if you've seen it before. So how's yellows looking? Yeah, some maybe Bestätli Sander getting decently quickly. Then we go over to round 2. Up here in Jerash again. And this one's actually now close to this specific archaeological area. I think this is even a dead end if you go north. Like, you can't go north from here, but if you go south, you immediately see everything. You've got that roundabout here. Super easy round if you've practiced a little bit. Then round 3 was all the way down in Aqaba again. Ooh. A couple streets up from where we were in the Division 4 seed, just over here. Still never too far away from this specific intersection, which we've now seen a bunch. I think I actually went to that intersection in this round. I went like over here and up there. So yeah, also not too difficult. And then we had Amman, and I still hate Amman, and I just never found anything. Like, you know it's Amman if you travel around for a while, but that's it. And yeah, wrong side or wrong end of the city. And then a fairly easy end to it up there in Jerash. That's right around, I think, the most northern point of the coverage of Jordan. So that's pretty cool. I think you might be able, let me just see where it is exactly. I think you might be able to reach the northern end here. Well, not just right around the northern end. It is the absolute, Right, so I have no idea how I just managed to do that, but I somehow managed to close my browser. No clue. Absolutely no clue how that happened. But yeah, we talked about that. Pretty straightforward round. There's signs towards Jerash and probably towards Ailun over here too. And then the Division 2 seed. And fairly decent, I'd say. Round 1 was in the southwest of Oman. Doesn't count as Oman, in my opinion, so it was an easy round. No, I don't remember what I found, but it can't have been too difficult. Probably some signs towards Naur. I think there was a sign that was like, hello, you're in Naur, or something like that. And the funny thing about this seed as well is, you can see there as well, by the way, how I was like, nah. I actually wanted to throw this one out first, because this was my best score up until that point. So I was like, that's a pretty easy seed. Well, I'll throw it out, it's my best score. And then I went on to the next seed, and I got an even better score there. So I was like, wow, might as well take this one then. And yeah, first round pretty easy. You're like right at the welcome sign towards Nowhere, if I remember rightly, which I think I am remembering correctly. Yes. Goodbye, Nowhere Municipality. Then we had, come on, round number 2 down here near Man. And I actually had to double check that as well, because I wasn't sure. Because we had this round over here, if you remember, from, might have been the Reddit League next seed. I'm not 100% sure anymore, but we had one round in one of the other seeds that was up there, so I had to double check it's not the same place. That actually took me longer than I'd like to admit to check if it is or isn't the same place. But it wasn't. Yeah, not too big of a problem, that one. Round 3 was then up in Jerash again, because of course it is. This time on the other side over here, and I actually didn't realize. Why did I not realize? I don't know, I guess because I just never look to the side while I'm playing GeoGuessr. I don't look at surroundings. I look straight ahead at the road in front of me. Because otherwise I would have easily seen this, but no, of course I didn't. I went all the way down here. And then, I don't even, wait, I think I went over here, up there, and then down here. Yeah, that's it, I came out here. Then I had to work my way all the way back until I was there. And I was like, actually, I think it was here. Came up here. Yeah. Here. Then the 4th round was, and again, a super easy round, which I've only had once. I've not had anything else even near here. But that was a pretty cool round. I hadn't seen that before near the Mujib Dam. Also, well, super easy because there's not many lakes or, reserves in Jordan. And that's pretty straightforward. And then round number 5 was, where else could it be? In Aqaba. And we had a round here, we had a round here, now we have a round here. Well, what can you do? Aqaba isn't exactly a huge city. But yeah, again, pretty easy round, pretty easy seed overall. Surprisingly, no one managed 25k it so far. Obviously, this round over here is not an easy one to 25k. You're purely relying on luck here. But yeah, some people managed to get pretty close. So that's been week 2. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks for doing so, and I'll see you guys again next week when we'll go over to the Volvo dealerships of the world against Boxer. Till then, bye.